human remains were discovered, consistent with the description of Gabrielle "Gabby" Petito.
Police on a desperate hunt to find Gabby Petito's fiance after authorities found a body they fear belongs to her. Thanks for being with us. I'm Elizabeth Pran in for Robin Mead. Let's get straight to our big story of the day. This is the picture Gabby Petito's father posted just hours after the FBI announced it located the remains matching a missing person's description of his daughter. Joseph Petito says she touched the world. The remains were found in Wyoming's Grand Teton National Park on Sunday. It's the last place the 22-year-old is known to have been. Petito was on a cross-country road trip with her fiance. Now, the fiance returned to their home in Florida on September 1st without her.
We continue to seek information from anyone who utilized the Spread Creek dispersed camping area between the dates of August 27th and August 30th. Anyone that may have had contact with Gabby or her boyfriend, or who may have seen their vehicle in that area. Please share any new information with the FBI.
Correspondent Layla Santiago reports authorities plan to ramp up their search for Petito's fiance, BrianLaundrie.
Now, here in Florida, where I am, the search continues. Northport, Florida officials saying that they will be continuing to work with the FBI to try to get more answers. And there are certainly a lot of questions remaining because BrianLaundrie, the fiance of Gabby Petito, was reported missing on Friday. His family said the last time they saw him was Tuesday, and that when they last saw him, he had a hiking backpack and indicated he would be going on a hike here, the Carlton Reserve, 25,000 acres, a very lush and very dense land here that makes it pretty difficult for the search teams. But they say they will continue to search and hope they can find more answers that possibly give more insight as to exactly what happened that led to the disappearance and the death of Gabby Petito. Elizabeth?
All right, Layla Santiago reporting there. Thank you so much. In a statement, the Laundrie family called the news about the remains being found heartbreaking and that they pray for Gabby and her family. According to their attorney, they do not know where BrianLaundrie is. Let's take a look at how this case started. Petito and her fiance, BrianLaundrie, started a cross-country trip back in June. They were documenting the whole thing. In early August, police found them in Moab, Utah. They got a call because the couple allegedly were in some type of an argument. No charges were filed, and police had asked them to separate for the night. On August 25th, Gabby had her last FaceTime with her mother. That week, the family got a text from her phone, but they don't think that text was from her. A few days later, BrianLaundrie was back at their home in Florida, but he was alone. She was reported missing 10 days later. Last week, Laundrie's family told police they hadn't seen him in days. And yesterday, the FBI announced a body was found that matched Petito's description. Her father telling HLN he feared something like this could happen.
My gut tells me that something bad happened. And I'm never going to be able to hold my baby girl again.
It's just so hard to hear that. HLN legal analyst Joey Jackson joins me now. Joey, always a pleasure to have you, unfortunately, on terms such as these. If the police do find BrianLaundrie, where do we go from there? We have to first have confirmation this is her body. Maybe we'll find out how she passed. But then, can you walk me through where we go from here?
Of course. Elizabeth, good morning to you. The authorities have every reason to believe that it is indeed her body. Remember, there was a press conference last night where they indicated that they didn't have 100% confirmation, but they did notify the family. So I think the authorities are operating under the belief that the DNA and other confirmation will confirm it's her. So what happens now is that prior to that, you will recall, Elizabeth, that they wanted to speak to Mr. Laundrie, the person who was going cross-country with her fiance. He refused to speak. That is his constitutional right. You don't have to speak to anyone should you not choose. The police at that time did not have the ability to go and arrest him because there was no reason to believe that any crime was committed. She could simply have been missing. This, however, is a game changer. This, however, gives them the ability, that is the authorities now, to go and arrest him should they find him, right? There's some indication that he can't be found. The family of Ms. Petito is indicating either, there's a distinction, and I do agree, between someone who is missing and someone who is hiding. That relates to Mr. Laundrie. They believe he's hiding, and he could very well be. However, that having been said, the authorities now have reason to believe that a crime was committed and he committed it. What does that equal, Elizabeth? Probable cause. That means he'll be arrested. In addition to that final point, there'll be a lot of assessment surrounding the body and surrounding the area in which they found that body. That will give other evidentiary clues in addition to the digital footprint and the excellent timeline and setup that you just, went into to establish, look, you're notifying your family every step of the way. You're indicating what your trip, what you're doing, who you're with, the fun you're having, and all of a sudden that stops. That's not an accident. That's called circumstantial evidence, all leading to the fact that the suspicion surrounding Mr. Laundrie really amounts to a murder investigation of which he is the central suspect and now a defendant. So I think a search is on for him in earnest.
Okay, I want to take this in a little bit of a different direction, because we have seen that body cam footage. We ran it multiple times last week. She was crying. The two of them had an argument. Was there an opportunity there for authorities maybe to take a little bit more aggressive action? And the reason I'm asking that is because you are familiar with the law. Is there some type of civil culpability there? Do you think that police should have maybe been more proactive, or is it not their place?
So what happens, Elizabeth, is that police have to make discretionary decisions every day, and they do make discretionary decisions. In this instance, they felt, based upon their assessment, that they just should separate the couple and give them a period to cool down, and things would be okay. What I will say is that if someone really is in a relationship which is tumultuous, and again, we have no reason or indication at this point, we don't know what the past history was. We don't know whether that was an isolated instance or that was the norm as it related to their interactions. Were there other things that they were doing or that he was doing to her that could have been criminal where there was no police involvement? But I'll say this. If someone is motivated or ultimately just has an inclination to kill someone else, right, if he indeed did it, whether it was the police not stopping them then or whether it was some other day, you might say that it could have happened in any event. So I don't blame the police. They made an assessment. They made a judgment call. And subsequent to that judgment call, Mr. Laundrie allegedly took actions against her. And those actions to this point amounted to what authorities believe to be her death.